I can do anything. There's nothing I can't do. Nothing. But I'm not supposed to. Ripples, tidal waves, rules. I'm not supposed to.
What's wrong?
My face. You've thrown me this face. Why this one? Why did I choose this face?
Doctor, what's wrong with your face?
I think I know why I chose it. It's like I'm trying to tell myself something. I think I know what I'm trying to say.
Just someone. Not the whole town. Just save someone.
Come with me. I know where I got this face and I know what it's for.
Okay, what's it for?
To remind me. To hold me to the mark. I'm the doctor. And I save people. And if anyone happens to be listening and you've got any kind of a problem with that, to hell with you!
Welcome everybody to Red Spotlight Entertainment number 18. Oh my god, we've had a lot of good things coming out of 2015. We had Star Wars. We had a great season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. But, however, I think that what's most significant though is a little British television show. Started in 1963. A television show that started in 1963, and it's a little show called Doctor Who. Unfortunately, because she has not watched any of the other TV. Okay, Alexis Moreno, you need to watch Doctor Who.
Yeah, you do.
But anyway, that's her shout out. With me, I have
the other Alexis.
The other Alexis.
The one who's been here the longest.
The one who is, yeah.
The one not named Moreno.
How are you doing, Alexis?
I am doing spectacularly well, and I can't wait to get into the show that I am just in love with.
Me too. It is my favorite television show of all time. You know,
it's one of my favorites. I think at this point ever.
Yeah,
it's great.
So far we've had a great, a great ninth season, and or if you're British series, which,
I don't know if anybody has been keeping up, but people who will follow this show knows how Kyle loves to be British.
I love bread.
My gosh. No joke. He's even made me fish fingers and custard, if you know the show.
What do you think of that, though?
It was amazing. It's our version of fries in a shake, which, by the way, we should get afterwards. Just a little FYI. But
I agree with you.
They were really, really amazing. And you would never guess it, right? But they just complement each other so well.
I think that this is a whole new different phenomenon, and I think that because it is, it's just amazing to see this widespread of Who culture.
Yeah.
There's Gala Day at Disneyland, and
there is
a Gala Day where everybody cosplays as Doctor Who characters at Disneyland called Gala Day.
No idea.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a sign.
We'll get into that later. But right now we're going to talk about the bulk of Series 9. First off, before we talk about Doctor Who, let's talk about the Doctor himself. Peter Capaldi, in his second run as the Doctor. What do we think of that?
Well, just to provide a little bit of background here. When I first saw Series 8, or Season 8, depending on how you call it, I I liked Peter Capaldi's Doctor. I felt that sometimes I didn't understand what direction he was going to take this Doctor in. And I think it may have taken some time to find his footing, even though overall season 8 was very enjoyable for me. And having watched it the second time before,
it was a Christopher Nolan-esque season.
Before I watched season 9, I watched season 8 all over again, and I just to get readjusted to him. But I'll just go ahead and say this right now. What do I think of Capaldi in season 9?
Yeah,
I think. And I know some snobs in the Academy are going to be very like, no. But I really think he should be a frontrunner for Best Actor in a television series drama.
Yes, I agree. So, because, okay.
In any show, not just sci-fi or genre, any drama.
It helps that he's first and foremost, a fan.
Yes.
Of Doctor Who. You know, you hear...
A lifelong fan.
You hear... Yeah, I mean, his first Doctor was... John Pertwee. Mm-hmm. You know, the third Doctor. And
by the way, Kyle is going to drop so many names that I don't even know. I'm only associated with the new Who, okay?
He's only associated with Eccleston on.
So, but he'll probably say which Doctor it is because I'm just ignorant on that.
John Pertwee is the third Doctor.
John Pertwee, okay.
And going on to this, because he had this long history with Doctor Who, it has followed it ever since. Even being those fans going through withdrawals when it went on hiatus. Mm-hmm. And he remembered, and he said, because recently was the 10th anniversary of New Who, and that's true. And he was in an interview with the BBC, you know, about the 10th anniversary, and he said that he was there the day it premiered. You know, he saw this new figure, you know, taking on the form of the Doctor, you know, with Rose. Mm-hmm. You know, and
great episode.
And the way he started, and the way that he, you know, embellished this, you know, different kind of role, because it was a very different Doctor than what everybody else saw. You know, he was more down to earth and gritty. Versus, you see the alien. You know, Eccleston played it as a veteran. You know, as a war veteran, and as much so because he just came out of the Last Time War. You know. Oh, by the way, this will be a spoiler-filled podcast. I know I'm late as always, but this is going to be a spoiler-filled podcast. But anyway,
spoilers.
Exactly. Oh, River. We'll get to her in a bit. But because of that, you know, he is. You know, he's just loving every minute being the Doctor, you know, and you could tell by the joy on his face that he's loving every bit, you know, as much as we are.
And as he should, Kyle, because I'll tell you this, look, every single episode I was just continuously impressed by, and I think on his standards, on his merit, season 8, his version of the Doctor was great. I really do think he gave a great performance. But it is such a celestial improvement on his acting is impeccable. His delivery is just great. The timing and the chemistry that he had with his companion, Jenna Coleman's Clara Oswald, got better as the season went on. And by the way, that chemistry was already there to begin with.
Yeah.
And it got so much better as it went on.
I mean, no disrespect to Matt Smith, all right?
Of course not, because he was good, too.
He was a good Doctor. He wasn't fantastic, but he was a good Doctor.
Dinosaurs.
On a spaceship.
I can't shake that line. That was just great. And the sheer whimsy in his face, just like, oh my god.
But man, that Doctor could make a speech, though.
Right, yeah.
Jenna Coleman. What do we think of her as the companion?
Oh my god! Look, I'll full disclosure. When Jenna Coleman's Clara came onto the show, I wanted to cut the bitch, and you can like I don't know bleep that, but
this is an uncensored podcast.
Oh, so are we promoting nudity?
How can you see nudity on a podcast?
I'll leave the viewers to, or not the viewers, the listeners, or the red spotters to decide about that. But no, I'm being serious. When Clara was introduced...
I guess that Howard Stern could do it.
Yes, right? Yeah. When Clara was introduced, I was automatically against her because I was still just reeling from what happened with Amy and Rory, because that literally came out of nowhere.
Was really tragic. Like,
that came out of nowhere.
I think that's what made it more impactful, seeing that it came out of nowhere.
Yeah, and it just like ugh. And so I got the sense that this was our new companion, and I was automatically, oh really, you're gonna follow it up with her? And it's like, and honestly, I
think it's because her chemistry with Matt Smith wasn't as on point as with Karen Gillan.
It was iffy. Yeah, I mean, that's true.
Because Matt and Karen, God, they were platonic. You see this kind of relationship with them two, and it was like this big brother, little sister kind of dynamic. And then you added Arthur Darvill in there in the mix, and it has been a long time since he's had two companions.
Yeah, that was a great.
Going back to the second Doctor, going back to the third Doctor, and all that stuff. Having two companions was a big thing, because usually consistency with all of Tennant's. He's only had the one companion with
first
him.
Season, yeah.
And also Eccleston. He only had Rose throughout the entire run.
Yeah.
But look, okay. But then all of a sudden, Kidneys.
Yeah. Changed color, apparently. He didn't like him either.
Right.
I know that because you have that on your Skype profile written there, and every time we call each other.
But, okay. Right from that moment, or in the regeneration scene with Matt Smith, I knew right then and there, when they were, giving their back and forth, I knew I was going to go in for a thrill ride in the next series. And binge watching the 8th season.
Which is rare for you to binge watch something.
Yeah, that it's really good when I binge watch something. As someone who
notoriously watches a single episode of a program per year.
Exactly. I'm going to be like 50 when I complete Breaking Bad.
Especially, have you gotten to Daredevil episode 2 yet?
Give me another 2 years.
Okay.
But I do admit that Daredevil is good, though.
Yeah.
But man, when that regeneration scene, and then when he he came out of the TARDIS like shush, and he talked to the Paternoster gang, which it was nice seeing them, in the 8th season back, and then going on to this, journey with, the 8th Doctor and Clara, because she didn't know who the Doctor was until the last bit of Series 8. Yeah. Because she was, she only knew this young, big-chinned.
I mean, just to speak to that incident in itself, we have to keep in mind that Clara was really the first, I guess, companion to experience the Doctor's regeneration since Rose. Yeah. And that was difficult to deal with as well. So, but no, you're absolutely right. The whole Smith and Coleman chemistry was kind of iffy for me. I liked it, but it was okay. Wow. The chemistry and the relationship between Capaldi's Doctor and Coleman's Clara, to me, and I'm sure you would agree, is the best we've seen on the show since Tennant and Rose.
Yes, I agree wholeheartedly.
Or it was. We have to speak in past tense. I'm sorry.
Come on. Do you think they were in love? Because that's the question of between them two.
And you've been telling this to me every single time we've seen an episode. I will say that the Doctor displayed more passion, and he cared a lot more for Clara than I've seen him in any other companion. And I think you saw that in him too, and the constant theme of season 9 would be, how far would he go to keep her from dying, essentially, or to keep her from harm's way? And you would see, almost in every single arc of this past season, he would break his own rules for her. So you have to wonder, there's a question there. I mean, if we're going to, and we are doing spoilers here, the technical finale, he goes to Gallifrey the long way around, and he goes into this, I guess, space-time continuum. He gets her out. He kind of fishes her out of her own timeline, pushes her in here. I mean, he goes that far.
Even to betray his own people on Gallifrey.
Exactly. I mean, he went so far to the point that Clara had to be the one to own up and say, this can't happen anymore. And we'll get to that finale right now, but I do want to say this about Clara. I increasingly became a fan of hers season by season, but the fact of the matter is, she was such a capable companion that she could virtually step in for the Doctor. And I think
she essentially was the Doctor at some point.
I mean, she became the Doctor in a sense. I mean, how she was essentially, and that's why I told you to quote Sam Smith: the writing was on the wall from the very beginning.
Oh my God!
From the very beginning of this season, I told you, if Clara keeps up this way, something's gonna happen that we're not gonna like too well. And I guess,
but it's just that he took it to such an extreme, you know,
yes.
and that's what you know basically drove his character, because let's face it, you know, throughout his entire run, he's seen people die left or right. Yeah. You know, he's never had real stability in his life, and he wanted this stability with her.
Yeah,
you know, I in my opinion, you know, I think that they were in love because, okay, first off.
In love, or they loved each other? Because there's two different ways to express that. You like shipping them, kind of thing.
Like in love, like romantically.
What about River?
We'll get to her in a bit.
Yeah.
Hello, sweetie. I think that their chemistry was very much platonic, like, you know, like Smith and Gillen,
mm-hmm.
you know, seeing them two get together. But I think they were in love. I mean, remember in the catacombs when Clara confessed something to the Doctor?
Mm-hmm.
Remember that? I mean, what else would have she said? You know?
Yeah.
So to me, I think that, you know, it was this, you know, it was this love. Like, they knew that they were in love with each other, but they knew that they couldn't.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah,
and I think that drove them mad.
Yeah,
you know, and I think that's why they drove each other crazy, because of this. You know, they love each other, but yet they know they can't.
Yeah.
You know, and that strikes a chord with me, because seeing that, you know, this whole entire thing happens, and I'm just going on in circles. I don't know where the fuck I'm going with this.
Should we get to episodes?
Yes, episodes. Wait, first, what did we think of Rockstar Doctor?
Okay, well, you being the rock aficionado that you are, I'm sure you love that more than I did. I appreciated that Capaldi incorporated some of his natural talent skills into the show, and kind of I love that. I know that one episode, the opening, I was going to say opening crawl, wrong fandom. The opening credits. You could hear the theme, the Doctor Who opening theme, with Capaldi himself playing the guitar, the electric guitar, in the background. I mean, I noticed that, and of course, he's a great guitarist. I mean, we'll just say that right now. I liked it.
He's fantastic.
I liked it. Yeah, the whole Beethoven thing got annoying because you kept saying it again and again and again.
Who composed Beethoven's Fifth? I think seeing Rockstar Doctor and his whole rebel
and the glasses, the sonic glasses.
A lot of fans either loved or hated it.
I think you kind of knew they weren't going to be around forever. I mean, it was just the phase he was going through. And the Doctor goes through many phases.
Yeah,
the
like
Fez,
bow ties.
The Fez.
The Fez, he only had it for 5 seconds.
Right? But it never went away, did it?
No.
Oh my. Okay.
But yeah, Rockstar Doctor. Okay, when he came in The Magician's Apprentice on the tank.
Oh my god. That was great.
That was an epic entrance for the Doctor.
I mean, honestly, and I'm not being precocious here. It reminded me of you because you had an idea in our senior year of high school.
But you knew it wouldn't come to fruition.
Tell them what you thought.
What I wanted to do was I wanted to come in on the back of a pickup, dressed. The pickup would be fashioned like the dinghy that Jack Sparrow came in Port Royal from the Curse of the Black Pearl movie, and me being completely dressed up in full Captain Jack garb, and then through the pickup speakers would be played the Medallion Calls by Klaus Badelt. I would have gotten away with it too if it weren't those meddling. No, I'm kidding. Because
this is a true story, folks.
But I mean, come on. It wouldn't have come to fruition. Regardless.
No, you're very mysterious.
Okay.
No, but in all honesty, that was a great moment. And I mean, if you think about in that episode, I mean, in the season
when he saw Clara play, and he played Pretty Woman,
yeah,
that was great.
Yeah, and I mean, that was a great arc to start off. I mean, you have Davros back.
Davros. I mean, my God, the great Julian Bleach coming back and playing Davros was phenomenal. I mean, honestly, for once, he's actually. Even though it was a deception,
but it was
you felt him be human.
Yeah, and that was our first taste of the rest of the season with Capaldi himself showing compassion toward Davros. And Missy was great, right? Missy was just all
Missy,
over.
you're so fine, you can blow my mind. Hey, you're Missy. Hey, Missy. Michelle Gomez is, as always, on point playing Missy. And I want to see what her plan is with the Daleks.
I know, right?
I think we're going to see that in the 10th season.
Yeah.
Just see. Because she was looking at the Daleks, she was cornered, and she's like, wait, I have an idea.
In usual Missy fashion, right?
Yeah. That's usually her getaway, getaway line.
Yeah, but that was a great start to the season.
Macy Williams?
Yes.
She was fantastic as a Shielder / me.
A Shielder, me. I mean, how many names she goes by? Honestly, she was a great addition to the cast, and I didn't see her ending coming because I mean, the ending is that she goes off with Clara, and Clara finds her own TARDIS, and they fly off together. And so, but to face on the relationship between the Doctor and I guess me or Shielder. Mm-hmm. I think we said to each other, this would be a nice companionship, a nice dynamic to explore if she were the actual companion. But I guess that's
but she is now the companion to Clara.
Yeah, so I wonder if we're going to see her again. I'm sure we are, but what's going to happen?
Oh, Macy Williams is continuously asking Stephen Moffat, when am I going on again? So that alone tells that she loved playing a Shielder.
Yeah, and the episode in which and me is a cool character, but I really fell in love with the Shielder. So, I mean, I know it's the same character, but it's just like the more we see of me, the less a Shielder. A Shielder's dead all the time.
What do you think of that arc?
I loved it. The second episode, I honestly could care less. I mean,
the girl who died?
No, the second one, the girl who lived, or the
woman who lived.
The woman who lived. Great shout out to Captain Jack Harkness.
Yeah. I traveled with another immortal, by the way. His name was
the face of Bo.
The face of Bo. Captain Jack Harkness.
But the girl who died was, without question, one of my favorite episodes of the entire show. And I think at that point, the best episode of the season for me at that point.
I loved when he was going to train the Vikings. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, it cuts to the whole village burning.
And it's great because it started off very comedic. But then as it went on, it took a turn and became very, very dramatic.
That's what Doctor Who does, though.
Yeah. And it's just like they did it consistently well. I mean, it had the theming of the Doctor and him losing people and then looking at Clara. And I love how they connected. Was it Deep Breath? Is that what it is? Or Deep Breath?
Deep Breath. Deep Breath and the Fires of... Are you talking about the Fires of Pompeii?
Exactly, yeah.
And how he was like, I remember where I got this face.
I love how they addressed
And then
that.
all of a sudden it flashed back to 10 rescuing I'm going to call him Decius Maximus because I don't know what his character's name was.
Peter Capaldi.
Peter Capaldi in Fires of Pompeii. And then all of a sudden he remembers him saving,
himself. Yeah.
Wibbly wobbly time.
Essentially, I mean, it's himself.
So he was like, I remember where I got this face, and just, I am the Doctor, I make the mark, and if those who go against me, to hell with you. Just that drive. Speaking of emotional drive, his speech in the Zygon invasion.
Oh my God. Folks, I was on the verge of tears. That's how captivating the show is, the writing is, but most importantly, that's how much Peter Capaldi immerses you. You believe that this person exists, that he is the Doctor. And that moment as it went down, oh my goodness. You saw Kate Snow's reaction, right?
Mm.
That's how I was.
I thought that was like one of the best Doctor Who moments ever. Because he's seen a lot of shit. And just seeing when I close my eyes, any pictures, all the people that suffered. You really get a feeling of who the Doctor really is.
I believe I told you that when that episode ended. That was the first time I said Capaldi needs an Emmy. That was the first time I said it. That's how. And then when we go after that, woo! I mean,
it goes on from that.
Oh yeah.
What do we think of the Doctor-centric episode, Hellbent?
Hellbent. Okay. Arguably the best episode of the season. Arguably one of the best of the series. Arguably one of the best episodes on television ever.
Right?
Ever.
And he did that all
himself.
By himself. Which shows you
what he's capable of.
What Peter Capaldi is capable. I mean, it's very much like Tom Hanks in Castaway.
Yeah.
The majority of the movie was him by himself. I mean, he did hallucinate him speaking with Clara, but all in all, it was just him. It was him thinking, it was him, in his mind palace, TARDIS. Sherlock reference, by the way.
Yeah.
Just seeing this, this whole new medium that we've never seen before in Who history, seeing a Doctor-centric episode.
And I think I want to, because you and I had different reactions to this one sequence when the Doctor was going through it again and again and again toward the very end.
Yeah.
Like you were laughing at it, how many times it was going.
I was laughing because it was ridiculous at how many times he must have gone through it. I
wasn't laughing. I was in pain for him.
I was in pain too, I think because of the ridiculousness of the process, I couldn't help but laugh.
2 billion years.
2 billion years. We started off. The Doctor said in Deep Breath that he's 2,000 years old. God fucking knows how old he is now.
Who? I mean, honestly, who would? Maybe Moffat.
Oh well, he's a. I think that all in all, okay, there's a lot of mixed reaction to this particular episode, the found footage episode Sleep No More. The only one-parter episode, and this whole series was a series of two-parters.
I think really Sleep No More is a prime example of how ambitious this season was. I told you when that trailer came out of Comic-Con of the season that they really were ambitious. And Sleep No More, I think there was a lot of really firsts ever for the series. From what you're telling me, it was the first time the opening sequence wasn't...
It was the first time the opening titles was not included.
At all.
At all.
And then that ending. What the fuck?
Yeah, right?
It just that was the first time I ever said the doctor say, fuck it, let's just get the fuck out of here and get out. I mean, that's really, I mean, what? Did you see that coming?
The doctor was like, screw this.
Finally, right? That happened. Oh my goodness.
What?
I
know. Thank you, David Tennant.
Thank you.
I think that this season...
I admired that episode. I liked it.
It's truly remarkable.
Yeah.
See, this regression,
nice. Yeah.
The Magician's Apprentice,
Yeah.
seeing all the Daleks, the Witch's Familiar.
I love the End of the Lake. The cards.
Oh, yeah, and then he was, reading it. I am terribly sorry about the death of your friend/family member/pet.
Oh, my goodness.
That was a...
And then, of course, we have to talk about Face the Raven.
Face the Raven. Oh, my God. I freaking cried for 3 hours over the death of Clara Oswald. I didn't want her to die.
I told you. Right?
And it was around the beginning of the season that it was announced that Jenna Coleman was leaving.
Yeah.
That broke my heart. But then my hearts.
Your hearts, yes.
But when she announced that she's going to do another thing called Elizabeth, which is about King Elizabeth I and all that stuff, it would be nice to see the Doctor go into that universe. You look like somebody I know.
Honestly, if we're going to have a crossover, let's have Doctor Who and Sherlock.
That would be fucking phenomenal.
Yes.
Just seeing Benedict Cumberbatch and seeing Capaldi together.
Uh-huh.
That would be amazing.
Great.
But anyway, it would be so cool, Alright, going back to Face the Raven, and we'll save Who Lock for another podcast. Face the Raven was an emotionally driven episode. We saw the final episode.
And it starts off like a regular episode.
It starts off, Clara and the Doctor, they're going to go and jig about, and then all of a sudden it made a turn for, the worse. And she basically took the life of Rigby.
Yeah. Rigsy, I think.
Rigsy, whatever. Wibbly wobbly.
Yes.
And she basically sacrificed herself for the good of another human being. Very Doctor thing to do. But to the
but the thing is, though, she at that point assumed that she would be saved.
Yeah.
Because a lot of characters, a lot of companions like River and like Clara assume, and they have a right to assume that the Doctor 99.9% of the time can get his way out of anything, but it's 0.01%.
Yeah, and you do not want to go into that 0.1%.
Because you're fucked.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, because then Clara still kind of got saved.
Yeah.
You cried your eyes out for, 3 hours?
3 hours, and then all of a sudden he's like, come with me. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on here?
This is Hellbent or Heaven Sent?
I think it's Heaven Sent.
Heaven Sent, yes.
And then we see the
finale, yes.
The finale, and then first off, we see the return of Gallifrey in that episode, and seeing Rassilon, and we see the General, and we see the Sisterhood of Karn, there, and it's very rare for them to visit Gallifrey.
Honestly, look, if you look back at this season as a whole, there are so many things that have come back into the forefront that were not around, like the Shadow Proclamation.
We have not seen that since Tennant's run.
Exactly. The one element that was missing for me was the Paternoster gang. I mean, was it Strax or Drax?
Strax.
Strax.
Drax is in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah. And we had like callbacks to Captain Jack Harkness, David Tennant, Rory, and Amy, and River herself. I mean,
they went back to the Day of the Doctor.
Oh my god! Yes.
With the Zygon invasion and Zygon inversion.
And then the diner.
The diner.
And Clara was there, and that was her TARDIS.
So basically, 11, Amy, Rory, and River went into Clara's TARDIS.
It looks a lot like it. I'm not sure. I mean, you would know more if this is official.
It is the official location.
Yeah, it is. So I mean, it makes sense.
So essentially, 11, Rory, whatever. They went into Clara's. That's cool. I find that very cool.
What I loved about that,
like bow ties.
Yes. And sonic glasses
and fezzes.
Yes. What I loved about that finale.
Stetsons.
Are we done? What I loved about that finale is that what I thought was going to be the ending was not. When we first see that the Doctor walks in, and I love how he plays Clara's theme. I just
on the guitar,
when
yeah,
they do that, and then you have "Don't Stop Me Now" playing.
Yeah,
in the background.
It basically that scene was a best of.
Yeah,
scene.
Exactly. Yes.
You know.
But at that moment, you think that Clara's memory was erased, like Donna Noble, and you see that okay, this is what's going to happen. That how somehow the Doctor saved her, and that
but then it turns out he has to wipe her memory because
that's not what happened.
It was the reverse.
It's not what happened.
The Doctor's memory got erased this time around.
I won't forget this. I was watching. After the Doctor fainted, and I was still processing what was happening, we cut back to the diner.
Yeah.
And we see the Doctor explain the memories of this girl you can't remember. You see Clara, and you see her just barely keeping it together. I almost just broke down. That moment hit me right here in the heart.
He was like listing off these other, all the other events, the Bells of St. John, the Snowman, and he was talking about, the Mummy on the Orient Express. And then he's like, maybe I'll see her again. Maybe you'll see her soon. And then, yeah, that would be nice. And he has no fucking clue that that's Clara. Yeah. Oh, my God. She stole a TARDIS in Gallifrey.
Yeah.
And, the Doctor stole a TARDIS.
I think we'll be seeing her again. Before Capaldi is over.
Yeah. Because, it's basically, a ritual.
Yeah.
Seeing the first companion.
Yeah, that's true.
Before the Doctor regenerates.
It's just... And, of course, he gets his new sonic screwdriver. Finally, after 2 seasons...
What do you think of that sonic screwdriver?
Honestly, I haven't seen too much of it to form an opinion of it yet, but I like it. It's a sonic screwdriver.
What do you think of the design?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I haven't seen... if you ask me to picture it in my mind, I can't. I know it's not kind of evoking tenets, but in a more fashionable and I guess technologically advanced way.
Yeah.
So
it's supposed to look like the central hub of the TARDIS.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, that was a great 3-part arc.
That was
a great way to end that part of the season, and then of course we get the Christmas special, which by the way, I just got through seeing, and I have all the feels again, and I want to watch Doctor Who for the rest of my life right now. It is great.
Well, you do have 36 seasons to watch.
Oh, God.
I'm not going to ask you to watch that. It'll be nice,
Look, it's not that I can't get through it. I did see 10 years worth of Doctor Who material in 2 weeks in 2015 on Netflix.
Yeah, you did.
That was quite the trip.
It was. Just seeing you experience it for the first time, it felt like I was experiencing it for the first time. So and seeing the passion of the show, progress into your eyes within the life
absolutely
span of a.
And the Husbands of River song is one of my favorite episodes to date.
Yeah,
a lot. Yeah, it's just
okay because it was funny. And we saw the return of River Song, which we have not seen since series 7.
Mm-hmm.
And just seeing them.
It's been that long, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Wow. Mm.
And it took 2.5 seasons to see her again. I thought that, just seeing that, and it's up to question if this episode was the last episode of her tenure as River Song. But if that was, what a send off!
This is what makes The Husbands of River Song is a prime example of why Doctor Who is a great show and great television, because it is a family show, but it can be all these it has a sci-fi show, but you're emotionally invested in these characters. So romantic. So many feels at the end of it. The towers that sing and River realizing, and then when the Doctor, he was like, yeah. And then when he said that a night lasts 24 years, and then the River's like, oh, fuck you.
He's like, I hate you. No, you don't. The sonic screwdriver that we've seen in the Silence of the Library, Silence of the Lambs, the library episode. Seeing that again was cool.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And it kind of bookended. It kind of bridged, different things and questions that we had. And you know what? We had to wait since season 4 to find out where she got that screwdriver.
That's right.
And we finally get some answers.
Yeah, the writing. The writing is one of the best. This is one of the best written shows ever.
Yes, it's on the wall. He's all quiet. But yeah, I think that this episode, these, bunch of episodes were phenomenal to see. I think that, I can't wait to see what Series 10 has in store for us. Because if this season was not proof enough that Doctor Who is getting increasingly better, I think that, 7 was a little sluggish a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And then with Season 8, it kicked it up a notch. And
I'm going to say it again. I don't want to interrupt you. Season 7, the highlight for me was dinosaurs.
On a spaceship. Damn.
And Day of the Doctor.
Day of the Doctor was a good episode. And Time of the Doctor.
Yes.
I really like Time of the Doctor, seeing the bet. That episode was essentially a best of Matt Smith,
And Season 9, you were saying?
Yeah, Season 9. Oh my god. Okay, let's talk about the music. Murray Gold.
Clara's theme. Cara's. Not Carl. Carl.
Walking Dead. This is great.
Clara's theme is one of my favorite television pieces of music, I guess, ever. And every time I hear it, I'm like, oh.
I want there to be a full version of the rock theme.
Oh,
of the
yeah, there should be. Yeah,
I love the how they brought back the Doctor theme.
Did they?
And Heaven Sent.
Oh, that!
And
Oh,
yes.
River
Song.
Yes.
That's
the one. Yeah, we have not heard that in such a long time
since David Tennant's run.
I mean, seriously, the more and more you think about this season, they really this season was best of Doctor Who. Just putting
you had Daleks in there.
Yeah.
You had a hint of Weeping Angel in there. You got some sliver of Cybermen in there. You got all these different You got a bunch of different things in there. You had the theme. It's just we could go on forever telling you how much we adored this season. And if it is not cemented proof enough that this show is my favorite show of all time, thank you, Verity Lambert and Cindy Newman, for bringing this world into our homes, and for all of us to enjoy. You know.
Yes. And as someone who knows Kyle very well, he's not kidding when he says that this is the favorite show of all time. I mean, Lord knows how many times I've seen him weep over clips of this series that he's seen already.
And it's weep of passion, you know.
Yeah, he's a crybaby too.
I am not a crybaby. You know what? I think that Bob Iger needs to buy Disney. I mean, Doctor Who with Disney.
Yeah. And the reason why we think that is because we highly suspect that Disney is in the process of acquiring Doctor Who, because I think they are. I remember watching. I actually did watch an episode of Doctor Who. They're currently airing the Tennant era on Disney XD.
Yeah.
And I think that's a clear sign that they're testing the waters.
Why would they put Doctor Who on Disney XD?
Well, for several reasons. I mean, they want to expand the network, which really Disney XD has gone through a hell of a year with Star Wars Rebels. It's their show, and I mean, got nominated for a Critics' Choice Award. I mean, what does that tell you? So, I mean, they want to expand Disney XD. I mean, Disney XD has always been a property for Disney that they want to like find an actual identity for it. And I think they're just now trying to shape and mold what that is. And I think Doctor Who fits in that category so well. But what has you and me so excited is that I think you guys know we're like huge Disney fanatics. And the potential...
If the writing isn't on the wall already.
The potential for Doctor Who to be incorporated in theme parks?
Theme parks. Wow. Dude, just... Okay, this is my idea of a Doctor Who ride. Okay, imagine a Star Tours-esque experience. You know how you have different adventures every single time you go on it?
Yeah.
I would love to see, every time you step on, you see a TARDIS, and then you step in and it's bigger on the inside, I think that it would be nice to experience every single Doctor in a different adventure. Like one ride you would go on and you would have Peter Davison's the 5th Doctor, and another one you have Tom Baker's 4th Doctor. You would have one with David Tennant, and it would be nice for David Tennant to go back in the studio and, film some of that stuff. It would be nice if Christopher Eccleston would let go of his ego and step in as the 9th Doctor. I would love to see John Hurt come in and do some War Doctor stuff. All these different possibilities, and that would open it up to a new breed of fan. Because those who are, in the Disney universe, because a lot of people who are Disney fans got into Star Wars, last year.
Yeah. Oh, please, in a big way. Yeah.
Star
Wars had a long synonymous relationship with Disney before the Disney buyout.
But now it's bigger than ever.
Of course, yeah. And you've seen that change. I mean, one of the glaring things that you've seen before the Disney buyout, Star Wars merchandising at the Disney parks would be like Donald Duck as a stormtrooper or Mickey and Minnie in Jedi.
No, it's actually Darth Vader and shit.
That you don't see any of that anymore. That's been phased out entirely, which tells you how seriously Disney takes Star Wars.
Yeah.
The same thing could happen for Doctor Who. I mean, just imagine it. Just imagine it. Toy Daleks, of which I'm holding right now, a toy Matt Smith, Fez. They can make so much money off Fezes. I'm not even lying. Oh my god.
A Fez with mouse ears.
Wow. I kind of want to see that now. Yeah.
Imagine a meet and greet with the Doctor.
Yeah.
A meet and greet with the doll.
No, I mean, Disney, and then, Disney, I think that attraction is what you're saying is pretty much just Star Tours with Doctor Who slapped onto it, but you can add different things to it, of course.
A meet and greet with Missy.
Yes.
Just all these different characters,
I mean, that could fit.
The Power Doctor gang.
That'd be too much for a single attraction. I think it would fit perfectly at Tomorrowland or at Hollywoodland in California. But Disney World, Walt Disney World, has what Disneyland doesn't. The space and the audience too, for a fully immersive Doctor Who themed land.
Yes.
Wouldn't that be great? And you have Star Wars Land and Avatar Land as technological achievements that could have contributed to making this land.
Imagine this. You have a bunch of kids. And together they meet the Doctor himself, and he sends them on he takes them around the land on an adventure with him, and together they fight Daleks, and they fight Cybermen, and in the end they go into the TARDIS, and they finish the adventure with reversing the polarity of the neutron flow, and I would love to see that come to light. I mean, wouldn't you? Just seeing the joy of little kids with little fezzes and sonic screwdrivers would be cool to see.
I think, and for those of you who may be questioning why we think Disney would get it, I think we're huge Disney fans. And we see how Disney could have looked at Star Wars or Pixar or Marvel and think to themselves, this belongs with us. Disney, I think Disney would be a perfect home for Doctor Who.
Yeah. I mean, BBC could still show it. I mean, because it is the flagship, program on the BBC network. But also, once have it on Disney Channel or Disney XD. Have it syndicated on there. Broaden your spectrum. Because there is a worldwide culture of Whovians out there. So it would make sense for them to do that, right?
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, it would be. Yeah.
Oh my God, Doctor Who! I think Doctor Who is just amazing right now where it's at.
Oh yeah, it's getting bigger every year.
Merchandise.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
What kind of merchandise would you like to see at a potential Disneyland Doctor Who attraction?
Well, the Fez, of course, the sonic screwdrivers, and anything Doctor Who related. Yeah. You?
Yeah, I would sell the jackets, sell the shirts, sell some Dalek figurines, sell some just these different things. I would
on the Dalek, of course. It'd be nice if they had this little demonstration where you get to actually go into a Dalek, and then after 5 seconds, get me out of here.
Exterminate.
That was awful. No, I'm kidding. That was good. Exterminate.
Exterminate. So, guys.
Nice silence here. By the way,
silence.
Kyle's family.
Silence.
Kyle's family. Yeah, the silence. Kyle's family uses a snowboard as a coat rack. Fun fact.
Yeah. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we talked about Doctor Who long enough.
From Studio K.
From Studio K.
I wouldn't even heard that before.
Without further ado, I'm Kyle Lira.
And I am Alexis Soto.
And this is Red Spotlight Entertainment number 18. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you later. Mustache. Bye-bye.